lying to us outrageously ever since.
Yeah, on 9/11, and I'll say this, and then I'll let Rashid say something too. What about the thermite, and how is it possible for steel to melt from the explosion of planes, and at the same time, passports drop down on the ground, unburned, unscathed, with all of the so-called terrorist names and pictures on them? How is that even possible?
Yeah, it's crazy. Now, the eyewitnesses talked about rivers of molten steel flowing beneath the rubble of the towers, and there was still molten steel there months later. Now, office fires cannot come close to melting steel. It can't happen. And the New York Times published an article on Building 7 talking about the fact that not only had that steel been melted, but it had actually been vaporized. The steel remains from Building 7 looked like Swiss cheese. And to vaporize steel, we're talking, I forget exactly how many, like 1,000 degrees, like 5,000 or 6,000 degrees. The very most powerful high explosives maybe could do that. So yeah, it's and then of course that magic hijacker's passport that was miraculously discovered, just like they miraculously discovered a passport at Pennsylvania in that alleged crash site of Flight 93. You know, they planted their evidence in a really sloppy way around 9/11. I mean, the whole thing is just really sloppy. The guys they picked as the so-called hijacker pilots couldn't even fly Cessnas, you know, much less big jets. And these guys were supposed to be pious Muslims, radical extremist Muslims. And in fact, they spent all their time running around with unlimited supplies of military supplied cocaine, gambling, flying to Las Vegas on gambling jaunts, spending a lot of time with Jack Abramoff on his casino boats, and drinking like crazy. The Hebrew-speaking imposter who pretended to be Muhammad Atta in Florida was dating a pink-haired stripper named Amanda Keller, and she described how he was fluent in Hebrew. And she described how he was a loud-mouthed braggart and a psychopath who disemboweled her pet kitten. Now, the real Muhammad Atta was a very shy, quiet, and pious young man. So that was, and he didn't speak Hebrew, so it wasn't the same guy. So basically, the way they planted their evidence around 9/11, it all totally fell apart. But nobody could see that, or you had to go to a lot of effort to study the case to find this stuff out. You know, the mainstream papers would publish it once. They would say, oh, these hijackers were not really pious Muslims. They were hard-drinking, cocaine-snorting party animals, and that's it. Yeah. They left an alcohol-soaked Quran on the bar the night before they hijacked those planes. That's in the Wall Street Journal. What kind of pious Muslim does that? You know, before he meets Allah? I don't think so.
Okay, Rashid, do you have anything to say? Because I definitely do. I have a follow-up question.
I wanted to say Jack Rubenstein. The mainstream media somehow leaves that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they cut off his name, didn't they? I wonder why they would do that.
I wonder why.